Good morning, students. Today we'll be talking about the right and legislation related to children and women. I am Dr. Devidit Sri MG, an associate professor. So, as you're aware that the Constitution of India makes special provisions for the rights of women and children. You will always ask me this question: why we need a special provisions for women and children? Why we need special rights? So, we'll just go forward. What are the rights? The rights are legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement. And by legislation is a law which has been promulgated by a legislature or governing body in this case. So the rights can be classified into natural rights as human rights, right to live with dignity, legal rights, rights to hold property. So what are these human rights? Human rights are those conditions of life which allows us to realize our full potential and to develop our qualities of intelligence and spirituality, respects and protects the dignity of each person. They are inalienable claims, or these are inalienable, they cannot be removed. You enjoy this by the virtue of being a human, a fact, you are human. So why we need rights and special legislations for women and children? Because first of all, as they comprise half of the population of India or even the world, children form 40% of our population, less than 18 years children, and historically they have been the disadvantaged sections of the population which were even denied of the human rights. Both are extremely vulnerable as compared to in a lot of economic and social turmoil. So that's why we need special protection for women and children. So, what are the rights of women? Human right as a gender. They have a political rights, special rights in terms of representation of education and employment, matrimonial and succession rights, the rights to marriage, divorce, and succession, right of equal pay for equal work, reproductive rights, and rights against exploitation of torture. So, who guarantee the protection of rights, civil rights? Who has guaranteed? The Constitution of India guarantees in India. There's a National Commission which of protection of women's right, various acts which empower women, and the Ministry of Women and Child Development, specifically which looks after the which specifically which looks after this. Yeah, internationally, we have the United Nations Convention of Declaration of Human Rights, Declaration on Gender Discrimination, and the United Nations Women Development. Institutions of India are democracy and religious structures which protect the rights of women. We have a parliamentary structure which give equal representation to both the men and women. Federal structure, the bureaucracy, the judiciary, and the legal system, and both the civil and criminal procedures code. So, what are the rights? The right equality of law and equal protection by law. That's Article 14. Article 15 is prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, and that is the one which protects the rights of women. First, primarily, these are fundamental rights which cannot be taken away, even in case of emergencies. Article 15.3 is nothing in the article shall prevent the state from making any special provisions for women and children. So that's why the reservation comes. Reservation for seats of women in various educational institutions is an example of Article 15.3. This is an act of positive discrimination by the state. So the article is protection of life and liberty, personal liberty, protection against detention of women, freedom of conscience, free profession, practice and propagation of religion, protection of interest of minorities, Article 21, Article 22, 25, and 29. The rights of minorities to establish and administer the institutions, the rights to constitutional remedies. Now, look at what the political rights of women came. The political rights is the rights which a woman will enjoy in a parliamentary democracy or in a democracy. They are equal. So the Indian Constitution gives equal rights for them. Political rights, equality before law, equal protection. So the vote of a male and the female is the same. There's no difference between that. In some countries, females were given the voting rights very less. UK and Ireland, where the rights were given even in 1960s. But India, the first day from the day it became independence, the Constitution of India guaranteed equal right, voting right to the both men and women. So there are some rights which protect against exploitation and trafficking. So the Constitution of India has a specific article on it which prohibits trafficking human beings and forced labor, and the Indian penal codes have various sections on prevention of traffic and exploitation. Then we have a specific act which prevents Immoral Traffic Protection Act 1934, and specific laws which are relating to a specific uh, place, which is like the Bombay Devdasi Protection Act. Then there's a right to equal work. The Constitution of India guarantees that there's the citizens, being men and women, have equal right to an adequate means of livelihood under Article 13, and the right to non-discrimination, that the state will make efficient provision for securing of the right to work, equality opportunities in matters of public employment, the right to equal pay for equal work, that equal pay for equal work guaranteed by the Constitution of India. State shall direct its policy towards securing that there is equal pay for equal work for both men and women, and there is no discrimination based on that ground. And the rights to protection of health and motherhood, maternity, Constitution of India, the state shall make provisions for securing maternity relief, maternity benefit. This is most importantly. So, for based on this Constitution, has made a provision that it will secure the maternity rights of women. So, on the basis, a new act is from 1973. The act was came and was amended, re-amended recently. It prohibits the employment of pregnant women during pregnancy. So, the initial act had provisions of 3 months. Now, it extended to more than 6 months. Absence during maternity is fully paid leave, and women are entitled to get medical bonus in addition to her paid leave. Here, what about the rights of health? State shall direct its policy towards securing health. I'll finish now. Yeah, so the first part is Factories Act. The Factories Act has provisions for prohibition of employment of women in dangerous and hazardous tasks, separate and adequate urinals and latrines for women. Women shall be employed between 6 and 7 p.m. Facilities for postnatal women under the Factories Act, Labour and Mine Act. Now, we come to the most important part is which affects day-to-day life of women is, do women have right in matrimonial, divorce and succession and adoption matters? So yes, they have acts, they have equal rights for the Hindu marriage, divorce, succession and adoption act, which was a part of the Hindu marriage act, Hindu code bill. The rights to marriage, there is no uniform code applicable to all communities in the matrimonial community. Each community has a distinct personal laws and right to matrimony. But we can enforce this, that what is the right age to enter into marriage. So that was done by the Hindu Marriage Act as well as the Child Restraint Marriage Act. Also, the acts also lays down the ground for divorce under the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. The next two permanent alumni, both husband and wife may ask for parental maintenance from the spouse's dissolution of marriage. The economic capacity party is taken into consideration, and wife living divorced deserted by file a suit against her husband for maintenance. Even aged parents and minors children can sue the son, daughter, family, father respectively. Succession, Hindu Succession Act. Woman as a wife gets equal share to males in Hindu undivided family and the acquired property. But the daughters can inherit to self-acquired property of the father and not to the Hindu undivided family. Daughters' share in the self-acquired property is equal to that of the male heirs. So then there are legislations for special protection of women. Right against equal sex exploitation at workplace are equal pay for equal work, and sexual harassment at workplace, called as the Post Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Work Act. This lies right against exploitation, violence, abuse at home, domestic violence, rise against exploitation, and moral trafficking. So this was in very short about the various acts. So we'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you.